Stake is a popular online casino that almost everyone who plays cryptocurrency has heard of. Among other benefits, Stake directs players with the Stake Original section. It contains original games developed by the casino itself. These are about 20 games that Stake casino players have come to love, despite the simple design and uncomplicated gameplay. Many people are wondering how to win at Stake Originals. Let's take a look at the best strategies and tips for Stake Originals. By the way, I only play on Stake. Stake is the best crypto casino. Use my promo code WTF when you sign up and get 5% lifetime rakeback. Rakeback is a perk that allows you to earn extra money in passive mode for every bet you'll make. Go to settings, then offers, and enter my promo code WTF. Subscribe to my Telegram group, where I often hold cash draws, with one simple condition: have an account on Stake using my referral link. Stake Originals games use algorithms of provable honesty. This means that each player can independently verify the validity of the results and the absence of interference from the casino. The presence of such algorithms is a critical feature, as the games are not developed by a third-party provider, but by Stake Casino itself, i.e. a stakeholder. Nevertheless, thanks to these algorithms, every player can be confident in the integrity of Stake Originals games. How to win at Stake Plinko. Plinko is the best on the popular Japanese games pachinko. Stake Plinko is played on a pyramid-shaped field with the pins of which balls roll. In the process, the balls bounce off the pins are eventually fall into the holes. At the bottom of the field, each hole is assigned a multiplier that determines the player's winnings. The maximum payout in Stake Plinko can be as high as 1000x. When playing Stake Plinko, you will notice two settings: the risk level and the number of rolls. These determine how often and how much you will win. In general, Stake Plinko is a game with flexible risk settings, which allows you to interplay different strategies, since the outcome of each round in Stake Plinko is completely unpredictable. The player's main tool is bankroll management. In other words, you should not bet too much if you play at a high risk level, and vice versa, you can manage your bankroll more freely if you play at a low risk. How to win at a Stake Mines. Stake Mines is inspired by the classic game of Saper. Stake Mines is played on a 5x5 board. Crystals and mines are hidden under the cells of the play's fields. Your task is to find crystals and not to bump into the mines. The more crystals you collect, the more you win. If you run into a mine, the game will end and all the winnings accumulated to that moment will be lost. The reverse martingale strategy is perfect for playing Stake Mines. It assumes that you increase the bet after each winning round. At the same time, you can also consistently reduce the number of mines in the game to reduce the likelihood of losing the accumulated to this point winnings. If you lose, you return to your original bet. The game continues until you win the desired amount or until you run out of money. Best strategies for Stake Mines. Let's say you start the game with a balance of $5 and a bet of $1. This allows you to make 5 attempts to go through Stake Mines strategy. You choose 4 mines and place a $1 bet. Choose 4 cells on the playing field. You cannot know in advance where the crystals are and where the mines are. Unfortunately, it is impossible to predict the results, but you can always rely on intuition. If there are crystals in all the selection cells, your profit per round at the specified risk settings will be 2.09x or $2.09. Now you add your winnings to your original wire and bet $2.09. But set 3 mines instead or 4. If you are lucky enough to find your crystals again, your profit for the round is 1.71x or $3.58. In the next step, you bet $3.58, all the money you won before, and choose 2 mines. Again, picking your crystal correctly, you make a profit of 1.41x or $5. In the last stage, you bet $5 and chose 1 mine. The last stage is the less risky. 4 crystals will give you a profit of 1.18 or $6. Thus, from the initial bet of $1, we have made $6. The farther you advance, the less chance you have of losing. How to win at Stake Crash. Crash has been a real hit among crypto casino players lately, and Stake Crash is no exception. Your task as a crash is to guess at what moment the rocket will explode and withdraw your wings before then. The wings increase with every moment of the game and they grow significantly faster in the later stage of the game, lately hundreds of times per second. The maximum payout in Stake Crash can reach an incredible 1 million X. The beauty of Stake Crash is that it is a multiplayer game. In other words, you can see which players have already picked up their winnings and which players are still taking their chances in the hope of a bigger multiplayer. The casino advantage is Stake Crash is 1%. Earlier, we looked at the reverse martingale strategy to play Stake Crash. We suggest you try the regular martingale strategy. It suggests that you should double your bet after every loss until you win. Once you win, go back to the until bet size. Best strategies for Stake Crash. Let's say you start the game with a starting bankroll of $10 and a bet of 50 cents. To implement the martingale strategy in Stake Crash, the automatic cash out feature will work perfectly. Simply set the automatic cash out at 2x. This way you can guarantee your winnings will be locked in as soon as the bet is doubled. You bet 50 cents and lose. In the next round, you double your bet and bet $1. But lose again, you double your bet and bet $2. But again, you are out of luck. Finally, you bet $4 and win. This way, you can record all the money you lost, plus win another 50 cents. Martingale seems like a relatively low-risk strategy for playing Stake Crash, but be careful. As you can see from our example, the player would not have enough money for another double down and would have to accept the loss. Remember that when playing Stake Crash using the martingale strategy, the size of your bets can quickly get out of control. How to win in Stake Blackjack. Blackjack is a classic card game that every casino player is familiar with. Your objective in Blackjack is to score more points than the dealer, but no more than 21. Stake have released their version of Blackjack, which is great for playing a few quick rounds. The casino advantage is Stake Blackjack is only 0 and 57%, but also the maximum payout per round can only reach 2 and 5 weeks. This makes it bolder to place larger bets, which is why the game is so favored by high rollers. A lot has been said about blackjack strategies. In general, your task boils down to comparing your hand and the dealer's hand and making decisions based on that. For example, you should double your bet if you have 11 and the dealer has 6. If you are dealt a 12 and the dealer has a 10, you should try to add a card or two to even the odds. The best table that will make sure that the mass in blackjack is on your side in our Telegram channel. Best strategies for stake roulette. In addition of these strategies, there are many other systems that work in stake roulette. You can try Wabucher system. The player writes down the amount of money that want to win. This amount is broken down into many smaller parts. You take the right and the leftmost numbers and add them up. This is your first bet. If you win, the right and leftmost numbers are crossing out. If you lose, add the last bet to the end of the sequence. The game continues until all numbers are crossed off or until the player runs out of money. Deliberate system. Choose an initial bet. If you lose, you increase your bet by the same amount. If you lose again, you again add the initial bet to the last bet. If you then win, subtract the initial bet from the total bet with an initial bet of $2. Then described the scenario would look like this: $2, then $4, then $6, then $4. With the deliberate system, you will not be able to win back as quickly as with the martingale strategy, but the risk of uncontrolled growth of the bets will be lower. Fibonacci system, you place bets according to the Fibonacci sequence, where each successive number is the sum of the previous two: 1, 2, 3, 5, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 144, and so on. If you lose, move one number forward in the sequence. If you win, move two back. Any players should understand that all the system allows you to systematize your game, but accept then to miraculously help break the casino's long-term advantage, but don't accept them to do so. There are plenty of other games in stake, but there is no point in making strategies for them. Either their rules are already clear, or these games are pure luck.